second.
You're frightening.
Good morning, Meeps. We're here at Protospiel 2015 live in Chelsea, Michigan. And we're here with Stephen Dass this morning, and we're learning all about Midnight Station, which is a co-op game, and we are saving the universe, the galaxy.
You are hoping to survive yourselves.
Okay, so we're not really doing anything grand. We're just surviving.
This is an introductory scenario for Midnight Station, designed to teach about half the rules in a little 20-minute scenario.
Okay.
So in this game, you are traveling on your shuttle to Midnight Station. It's a long, boring journey, I'm sorry to say. But at one point during the journey, there is a huge explosion from the back of the ship, from the engine room. And the ship's diagnostics show you that there are these three parts in the engine that need to be replaced. Fortunately, your ship is supplied with an ample supply of replacement parts in the port cargo bay and in cargo bay Gamma. Unfortunately, two of the parts that you might need were not included on your supplies.
What?
There's a way around that, however. In addition to yourselves, the human crew, there's a convenient but largely useless robot patrolling the ship.
That's awesome.
There's also a small supply of what we call nano paste sitting in the fabrication lab.
Do the colors mean anything, Peter?
The colors do mean something, and it's Stephen.
Sorry.
That's all right. Everybody, we're brothers. People just get us confused.
Exactly.
Okay, we might need some of these things. All right. So on your turn, you're going to have two actions. With your actions, you can do any of the things listed here. One of the most common things that you're going to be doing is moving around the ship because things need to get from point A to point B. The problem is the automatic doors have stopped working, and because the engine room has shut down, the pressure generator is no longer working, so your lightweight environmental suits are starting to swell up. So the situation is like this. Your suit size is shown on this track here. As long as you are moving through doors that are larger than your suit size, it's a small ship and you can go as far as you like with one move action. If you had a larger suit size, you could not get through doors that are smaller than your suit size at all, so we could go back and forth between the cargo bays, but not get out through any of these. Oh, sorry, purple. Doors. If your suit size is the same as a door that you're trying to get through, you can move to that doorway, but you have to stop in the doorway. Once you're in that doorway, you can spend another move to leave and then again go as far as the doors that you press.
So size matters.
Size matters.
Okay, so if I'm in that 2 space and I'm 2 size, can other people fit through their 1? Or do I block it?
You're squeezing through that doorway. You're essentially blocking that doorway for everybody.
All right. That's important to know. David Tomez asks, how long has this game been in development?
This game has been in development since 2009.
2009, so quite a while. But
quite a while. When it was first under development, there was basically Protospiel was my main opportunity to get it tested.
Right.
I had a small group of designers in Madison that we were able to get together maybe once a month, more likely once every 2 or 3 months. And so it is hard to get plays in. It's also, since it's a cooperative game, it needs to be balanced. You can't rely on the players to balance each other.
right.
The game has to be balanced and challenging for the players.
Right.
This particular scenario is actually just a couple of years old.
Okay.
A couple of Protospiels ago, one of our veterans, Kevin Nunn, said, "This is a complicated game. I wonder if there's a way of creating a simpler scenario that would facilitate teaching."
Perfect.
So I sat down and created this, and we're going to see how it
Yeah,
works.
we're gonna see how that works.
All right, so that's movement. Obviously, you're going to need to deal with these doors. Each door has a crank location, so this door can be operated from this room.
Oh, okay.
For security purposes, no door's crank is actually in a room that the door allows you to get in and out of.
Yeah, because that would make sense.
That would make sense. So the blue player here could spend an action to open this door by 1 pip.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
The exchange action, so you don't necessarily need to carry things by hand. You can pass things through a doorway. So the exchange action allows two players in adjacent rooms to pass an object, probably one of these cards, through the doorway. That costs an action. The action can be taken either by the player who's giving the card away or by the player who's receiving the card.
That's very neat.
If two players are in the same room, they can exchange cards for free, which means it doesn't cost either of them an action to do it. They essentially have a shared hand of cards.
Okay.
Discarding is on there for completeness. It just means if you're holding something and you decide you no longer need it, you can throw it away. And that doesn't cost you anything. Some actions are specific to the kind of room that you're in. So if you're in the port cargo bay or cargo bay gamma, you'll be able to look at these cards. So for an action, you can pick up a card, look at it, and it's in your hand. You're holding onto it. As long as you are sitting in the room, you can, spending additional actions, pick up as many cards as you want and have a whole hand of cards. As soon as you want to move, however, you can only carry one card with you.
Oh, okay.
So you'll need to do something with the other cards. You can put them back into the stack where they are. We actually have a location for the face-down pile. Once you've seen things, you can put them in the face-up piles. However, it's only the top card of each one that is actually available to you.
Right.
So if
Two
you have
piles of junk.
yeah.
A pile you haven't looked at and a pile you have with whatever on top.
The fabrication lab is where you're going to solve certain problems that come up, like the fact that something that you need to build might not be on your ship.
That problem.
Each of these parts has a little recipe on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
B for blue, R for red, Y for yellow, G for gray. Colorblind friendly. Each one of these cards also has a similar recipe on it. So if you can't find the thing you need or you find something that you don't need, you can bring it to the fabrication lab, break it down into paste, and then use that paste to build something you do need.
I like that.
It's slightly inefficient, so when you break something down, you only get 2 of the 3 kinds of paste.
Now, do we get to choose the two?
You get to choose which 2 you want. It costs an action to do that. And then with another action, you can construct, take 3 units of paste that you do need, build a stack.
So red, red, gray.
Red, red, gray isn't out here, but one of these things that could break down is a red, red, gray.
Right.
And then this is treated just like a card of that kind. You can carry it or you can pass it through doors.
Okay. And it just equals a card.
It is
in
the
terms
same
of
as the
encumbrance.
card.
Okay.
Yeah. Finally, since the engine room is where everything has gone wrong, you want to bring either your cards or your stacks of paste that match the problems to the engine room, spend an action, discard the card, and remove the matching thing from the engine room.
Okay, and so we have to basically get this to having no faults whatsoever.
No faults on it.
That
and
equals
then,
win.
That almost equals win.
Oh no, what else we gotta do?
Somebody needs to come to the bridge and actually restart the system.
Ah, okay.
The one restriction there is that when somebody is on the bridge restarting the engine room, somebody else has to be in the engine room to watch dials and maybe flip the
Right, so
switches
it's got to be, you know, Kirk and Scotty.
Yeah. Finally, there's a robot. I mentioned the robot before.
Yes.
The robot is not wearing an environmental suit, so the robot never increases in size. So the robot can always fit through the doorways. However, he's a little bit clunky. He's kind of that Forbidden Planet kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when he moves, he can only move 2 rooms
Oh, okay.
rather than as far as he likes.
Right.
The other problem with the robot is he doesn't actually do anything except that he's able to operate the cranks.
Oh, so you can't carry stuff.
He can't carry stuff. But on your turn, instead of using your actions to do things yourself, you can remotely operate the robot. So I could send the robot here, and then use another action to have the robot crank that door, which might then allow me to, on a future turn, move through that doorway.
Okay. So you should call it a crankbot.
We could call it a crankbot. It's certainly a cranky bot. It's Cranky the robot.
It's kind of like, was it Marvin?
It might have been Marvin.
Marvin the Martian.
Oh, there was Marvin was the
Marvin was the one, the press robot.
the press
Yeah,
robot. That's right.
Hitchhikers,
From Hitchhikers. So this is Cranky, the Cranky robot.
You're almost ready to play.
Okay, great.
There's one more thing that I'm going to explain to you. You don't have to really, well, you do have to worry about it. After you've taken your 2 actions, you're going to leapfrog on this track. So the first player, which I guess was going to be Ed,
Yeah.
is going to go on here, then so, and so, and so, and then Ed is going to leapfrog to the end of the track. And when he gets to the end of the track, this thing is going to happen. Your suits are going to get bigger.
Everybody's suits at the same
Everybody's
time?
suits at the same time.
Wow.
And then you're going to go down the next track, kind of leapfrogging along. And then we're going to draw another one of these cards. Something else goes wrong in the engine room. So we're going to draw another one of these cards, and there's going to be something else you have to fix.
What?
And then we're going to repeat.
And how many times does this happen? Until we die?
This happens until you either fix the engine or you go off the end of the track.
Ah, that's the death. That's when
That's the death.
our suits explode? Is that what
That's when
happens?
your suits explode.
Is it possible for our suits to have different sizes?
Not in the introductory scenario.
Okay.
So the main game has suits growing at different rates.
Okay, cool.
But this is the training game, so we're not doing that. The other way you can lose is if you have 4 problems in the engine room and you get another one.
Ah, okay. Perfect. Can I ask one more
You
question?
bet.
Why are there holes in these cards?
The holes are in the cards also for a feature of the advanced game.
Okay.
While the diagnostic system on the shuttle is reasonably sound, so these parts are actually bad. Once you get on the station, things are a little bit more flaky. So the diagnostic system, when it shows problems, those aren't necessarily always bad parts. Sometimes they're just a little flaky and you give them a nudge.
okay.
Like your computer.
Yeah.
Half the time when it dies, you just have to restart it.
Okay.
So these are status cards. Normally, you don't know if something needs to be replaced or not. The safest thing to do, just go and replace it.
Right.
However, you will sometimes have opportunities to diagnose your functions. Sometimes you can tell, hey, it's perfectly fine. No problem. But sometimes you will discover that, no, that is a very bad part and definitely needs to be replaced.
Okay, cool. But that's not in this scenario. Okay.
That is not in this scenario. In this
Okay,
scenario, everything just needs to be replaced.
All right, and we're ready to go.
You are ready to go. Ed is going to take our first turn for us.
All right, thanks very much, Steven.
You bet.
Do we start on